Listen to me. If there was a wise man who would ever think of this, they would say in order to be superior to the man, you've got to be the man. For I am the man himself.
So, YouTubers, SummerSlam hyped up fans, everyone around the world, what do you want to talk about? Guys, what's up? How you guys doing tonight? This is the Club of the Man 1993, and we are here on this Friday night, shortly before 9 o'clock p.m. I know, it's during SmackDown, but I will be watching the show afterwards. But we are here, live, right now, on YouTube, for the Man's live preview and predictions for WWE SummerSlam 2024. It is the biggest party of the summer, as they say. And it's taking place tomorrow night, August 3rd, 2024, at Cleveland Browns Stadium, just 2 hours up the road from me in Cleveland, Ohio. I really wish I could have gone this year, guys. I went last year with my wife and my nephews. It was a ton of fun. I was hoping to experience the same thing again this year. Unfortunately, though, again, didn't work out. Have other priorities. Had to hold off on the money for more important things, of course. So I didn't get to go this year. My good friends, though, Daniel Gaiza, Penta L. Miller, as I call my friend Joe Miller, are both with me in attendance. And I think my old pal Gene from the Botch Squad podcast. He doesn't do YouTube anymore, but he was on here for a while as well. I believe they all will be in attendance at SummerSlam. And I hope that they do have a good time. Again, it's going to be a very, very stacked card, and it has a lot of very interesting outcomes as well. The hype for SummerSlam, the build, I'll be honest, was a B. If I could grade build, I give it like a B. I felt like we could have gotten a little bit more out of the build from the potential for this card. Now, of course, I know for the longest time, myself, many other people did think the main event of this SummerSlam was going to be The Rock and Cody Rhodes for the world title. It is not. It is Cody Rhodes and Sikoa for the world title. Which, I'm going to be honest, that's the match I'm probably, out of all 7 matches on this card, that's probably the match I'm the least excited for. The match itself will be what it is, but I feel like everyone else is pretty positive that Roman Reigns will be showing up tomorrow night at SummerSlam. I am also showing, because I did, when I was posting on Twitter, which, by the way, in case you didn't know, I am back on Twitter and Instagram, and I was able to use the same names as before. So you may follow me, I can say this again finally, you may follow me on TikTok and Instagram at the Club of the Man 1993, and Twitter at the Club of the Man 93. Some of you I was able to find again. Some of you I was not. If I have not found you again, make sure you follow me so we can keep up again like we were before. But I was looking on Twitter, and it sounds like that main event will be contested in Bloodline rules. Very, very interesting, of course, for sure. But I had to watch all SmackDown do it. And I was going to wait till after SmackDown first to do my preview. But my concern is that I will get tired. And I will not be able to do my reviews efficiently as I am now. Of course, I also have my Coca-Cola to help me out too as well. But I'm stalling. I'm poking around. Let's actually talk about SummerSlam itself. So first off, as you can see also, I kind of changed the graphics up a wee bit. With there being 7 matches, and rather than making everything smaller and put it off to the side of me, since we know for sure what the main event will be, I put it at the top and left plenty of room for the other 6 matches on the side of me. I actually really like this. I think it looks very, very cool. I don't know if I'll keep it this way going forward, maybe just for like the bigger pay-per-views, but you know, this could become eventually like the permanent design. I think I continue to experiment more with Photoshop and I'm losing my train of thought here. Photoshop and After Effects, sorry about that. But as I said in the intro, despite the fact that I think the build could have been better, I still think this is going to be an outstanding show. And it was hard for me to predict. I predicted a lot of title changes happening in this show. I also think there's going to be a lot of like crazy outcomes. There's going to be a lot of drama going on in this show. Not AEW drama with Britt Baker getting suspended. We'll talk about that in a separate video. But we're not here to talk about that, of course, as well. But I can see a lot of things happening. I feel like this is going to be one of those rare shows that's going to be full of nothing but moments. Moments of like, you know, possible turns. Possible moments of truth. Some people getting some well-deserved victories as needed. Some could say stuff being maybe set up for next year's WrestleMania. Like the match on the bottom, I think we'll start, you know, building towards that as well. We'll talk about that, of course, when we get to it. And again, I could definitely see several title changes happening in this show. As of now, if I keep my predictions where they're at, I only see 2 champions that are on this show walking out with their championship. One's in the men's, one's in the women's. I think, for the most part, it's pretty obvious what each will be. But what do you guys think? I want to hear your guys' thoughts as well. As you guys, of course, can leave your thoughts in the live chat. And let's get this booming, as I've got a lot to talk about. But we do have some people in the live chat. We have Tyler. Thank you for joining me as always, Tyler. He thinks it should be AJ versus Cody at SummerSlam. AJ has not been seen actually since Clash the Castle. Wonder where AJ is. Soul better not win the championship. Also, why is it Bloodline rules? They did that at Mania this year. Could be a way for Roman to come back and maybe for him just to try to maybe protect Solo and Cody, because one of them's going to have to take the loss. Talk about who. I hope Charlotte comes back on Saturday. I don't know if she'll come back at SummerSlam, but I feel like she will be back soon. Because didn't she get injured around the end of last year? So it's coming up on 9 months. And I usually think an ACL injury is like 6 to 9 months. So Charlotte should be back soon. I think she was drafted to SmackDown, right? Yeah, I believe so, because Andrade was also. We also have Jordan Kirby, new one. What's up? Thank you for joining us. What's your SummerSlam meal gonna be? I have not decided that yet. Actually, also, before we get to that, I did advertise we were supposed to have a special guest with us, my nephew, who is on YouTube as DRK Midnight. Unfortunately, he did have a couple other things that he had previously committed to already, so he unfortunately was not able to be here with me tonight. But I am doing live reactions to 2 of the matches during SummerSlam tomorrow night, and he will be here live for that. And I'm calling him the fastest rising star on YouTube, with everyone saying DRK. RK Midnight. Yes, I'm nerding out and giving my nephew that moniker or whatnot. But as far as the meal goes, I don't know. We haven't really decided what we're going to be eating for SummerSlam. But I am hoping, though, it will be delicious. I'm pretty sure it will. Whether it's myself or my wife cooking, or we can get pizza or something like that. Whatever it is, we will be having fun, for sure. Punk and Drew should be the main event of SummerSlam. Thank you! I agree 100%. Should have been the main event. And I still think they should have made it unsanctioned. But Seth Rollins being special guest referee makes it interesting. I will admit that. Although, I won't lie and say I would have had the special guest referee spot go to the women's world title match and have Dominic Mysterio be the special guest referee with Liv versus Rhea, if I'm being honest. Let me see here. Thanks for following. No problem, Tyler. Why is Apollo getting TV time than AJ and Shinsuke? Yeah, I mean, I've always been a fan of Apollo Crews, but and I appreciate they're at least giving him some TV time. But what on earth is this tag team with him and Baron Corbin? It's very random. And I don't know, again, if AJ's just slowing down. And Shinsuke has not been on TV since the draft. So I don't know what's going on with them. But I'm not opposed to Apollo getting TV time. But just that this tag team with him and Corbin is just random as hell, if I'm being honest. Get rid of the you-know-what. Why do I keep saying this about the women's tag titles? Yeah, again, they just... Again, Alba Fire and Isla Dawn, I have nothing against them as talents, but they've barely been on TV their whole entire main roster run. And then you gave them the titles, and they're still barely on TV. Bianca and Jade are taking on them tonight on SmackDown. Don't spoil that part for me, though, because again, I already did see the thing about the main event being considered Bloodline rules, but nothing else. Spoiled, please. He has both world titles retaining. So he does see Cody retaining against Solo and Damian retaining over Gunther. Interesting. Very interesting for sure. But we will talk about that when we get there. Like I said, I have 2 champions as of now retaining. I feel like there's going to be one other one, but I just don't know who. But I just feel like 1, 2, 3, 4 title changes on a 7-match card. That's a lot. Or that might just be me. But you never know. They could do that, but there's definitely, though, one that I'm hoping does not get screwed out of winning the title. And we're going to open up talking about that match first. So as usual, I'm going to try to predict these matches in order of how I think they will happen. I didn't really quite put them in order this way, like close, but trying to keep things like together and whatnot. Like again, this design was just something different I wanted to try. But I will talk about the matches in order of how I think they will happen. The match I think that will open the show is the U.S. title match between Cleveland's own Logan Paul, boo, and everyone's favorite fastest rising megastar, L.A. Knight. Yeah! By the way, this coming pay, I plan on buying myself an LA Knight t-shirt. I have not bought myself a wrestling shirt in a while. And I've been wanting to get one of the older LA Knight shirts. And I keep worrying that I might wait too long, it'll be too late. So I will try to make that purchase when I get paid this week. And I will hopefully also do an unboxing video of that as well. First off, I have been waiting for this match between Logan Paul and LA Knight since Money in the Bank last year. Since they had those like couple promo segments when Logan Paul just for no reason got added to the Money in the Bank ladder match. Remember, Vince McMahon was lurking back around at this time for a wee bit till his ass got out of here. But The problem is I thought they were going to have this match last year. They didn't. They did Logan Paul and Ricochet, which was a great opening match at last year's SummerSlam. I thought we were going to get it at WrestleMania. I feel like we would have, but I think the reason why they held off is because of the Prime sponsorship just going into effect with WWE. Because Logan Paul has been United States Champion since Crown Jewel last fall. Like 9-10 months ago. A little too long, I would say, for a part-time mid-card champion. Again, not opposed to them giving Logan Paul the U.S. title. I get why they did it. And again, I'll continue to say this. I am just personally not a fan of who Logan Paul is. But I will not lie and say he definitely is an outstanding talent. But let's face it. LA Knight has finally been getting to push the momentum that he has deserved. They threw this guy into a world title feud with Roman Reigns this past winter. And, he was able to still maintain his momentum, getting a big win at WrestleMania over AJ Styles. And, hanging around, retaining his momentum. There comes a time, though, where, again, you just have to finally throw someone a bone. Capitalize on momentum. And I think that this is that match. LA Knight has to win here. If he doesn't win here, where does he go? Where does he go? And again, how much more over does this guy need to get? How much longer does he have to prove he can maintain his momentum of how over he can be? So I think there's no excuse. Again, this is the one I'm thinking must happen. This is the only, okay, if this person doesn't win, then I don't know what we're doing here. I actually will be pissed if LA Knight does not win the U.S. title. So I am picking LA Knight. The match is going to be great. I'm pretty sure there will be a tease of Logan Paul using the brass knucks, but LA Knight will be able to overcome it and give a BFT to Logan Paul. And as he should, LA Knight should be winning his first title. Well, he technically already did when he won the $1 million title in NXT when they briefly brought it back, but can we agree that doesn't quite count? It was more so of a prop or whatnot. Get a drink in there. But yeah, LA Knight at this point is long overdue to win a championship. And he would make a great full-time United States champion. Yeah! You don't need to keep the belt on Logan Paul any longer. Like I said, I get why they left it on him as long as they did. Yes, he definitely is drawing in the fans since he's a YouTube sensation. But look, LA Knight deserves it. Again, throw the guy a bone. Give him a title. And let him have a nice reign with it. Who will dethrone him? I don't know. But this is his moment. I think LA Knight does need to win the U.S. title. And that'd be a hot way to open up the show. So, LA Knight that's the one I'm like, LA Knight, no doubt about it, has to win this. So that's who I have winning the opening match. My second match that I'm predicting to happen. We're going to move down just one underneath Logan Paul and LA Knight. That match is the Women's Championship match between Bayley and the Queen of the Ring, Nia Jax. Now, of course, we used to see these two wrestle a lot. Their best match so far was definitely at TakeOver London in 2016. That was actually a pretty solid match. Then they, of course, beat it to death on the main roster when Bayley first came up in 2016, 2017, whatever it was. They just literally felt like they were fighting each other almost every single week. And that's when Nia Jax was greener than green. And we all just couldn't stand her. We were giving her the and whatnot, and all the other little jazz. The My Whole days. But that's in the past. Because Nia Jax, believe it or not, since she returned almost a year ago, because she returned the last Raw under Vince McMahon, which I think was it September 11th last year? Because didn't they close on the TKO sale September 12th? Like somewhere around there is where the closing happened. But it was the last Raw that Vince McMahon was in charge that Nia Jax had returned. And again, she's improved a lot in the ring. On the microphone, yeah, I still think she's cringy on the mic. But she has improved massively in the ring. I still think she's a pretty big shoo-in to win this match. And like I said, no offense to Bayley. We all love Bayley. But this reign has been very forgettable. As I said in the short I made recently, I love Bayley. She's definitely, when she hangs it up, she will be definitely looked at as one of the pioneers of reigniting women's wrestling. She will definitely be known for, her match with Sasha Banks at NXT TakeOver Brooklyn. Even the Hell in a Cell match they had at Hell in a Cell 2020, I think it was, they had the match. Yeah, 2020, they had that match. Her win the Rumble this year. Her match with Io Sky at WrestleMania this year was outstandingly awesome, I thought. I actually liked it a little bit better than Becky and Rhea, if I'm being 100% honest. But as I keep saying, I feel like they just haven't told a proper story to transition her back into being a babyface. I feel like she just still doesn't quite have the sympathy on her. Like, the interesting story to me, like what makes her interesting is whenever they tease something with her and Bianca Belair, because there's a long history there, and it makes sense. But this, again, Nia Jax earned this match by winning the Queen of the Ring tournament, and she was given an opportunity to fight for the women's title at SummerSlam. So, there really isn't too much. I mean, I did appreciate them at least having Bayley kind of fire the shots at Nia, calling her out for how reckless she used to be in the ring and whatnot. And then there's also, of course, the other factor, and that's Tiffany Stratton, who has kind of created an alliance with Nia Jax. I know a few weeks ago when at the SmackDown after Money in the Bank, they teased the idea of Tiffany maybe cashing in, and Nia not quite happy about that, because she's kind of like interfering in her moment as well right now. But I still feel like Tiffany Stratton, I feel like, has to grow a little bit more. She's not quite ready yet, in my opinion, to have the title. But I also don't want them to just waste the cash in on her. Because I know some people are saying that, well, if the only way Bayley's going to retain in this match is if Tiffany Stratton cashes in. Don't do that. Don't waste the Money in the Bank briefcase holder on someone else again. Like, we already have Drew lost his. Let's not have Tiffany lose hers here just to eat a pin in the SummerSlam match. Please don't. I think Tiffany Stratton needs to be a long-term Money in the Bank holder, if I'm being honest. But either way, I think Nia Jax walks out of this match women's champion. Again, she's earned it. I'm pretty sure at some point she'll probably have a feud with Jade Cargill for it, if I'm being honest. Because they have history from back in the Queen of the Ring tournament. Or if Charlotte comes back, maybe eventually Charlotte will be the one to dethrone Nia. I mean, I'm hoping their match will hopefully be better than... What match was it? I feel like it was a match on Raw. Maybe the Raw before Charlotte moved over to SmackDown in 2017. Remember, was it that match or another time where Charlotte and Nia had that really sloppy match? But again, Nia has improved. Credit where credit is due. She probably could wrestle a good match. So, I am looking forward to hopefully seeing Nia Jax get a nice strong reign with the women's title, with how much she has improved. Because remember, the last time she was a singles champion was 2018. That whole bullying storyline with her and Alexa Bliss, that was a very cringy thing. I'm sorry, it was. But 2 title changes to open the show. Is it going to be 3 in a row? Because match number 3 that I'm predicting, we're moving from over here to up here. The other mid-card title match for the Intercontinental Championship. Rematch from Money in the Bank. Sami Zayn, or I'm sorry, as Drew McIntyre liked to say earlier in the year, or late last year, Sami Zayn versus Braun Breaker for the Intercontinental Championship. At Money in the Bank, surprisingly, Sami Zayn did beat Braun Breaker clean. I was very surprised. And the story has been, Braun just kind of took Sami for granted. Believably, maybe yes. This one's hard for me. This one's very confusing to predict. Part of me still is leaning towards Braun winning. But like I said, I feel like someone who I think should be winning in this on this pay-per-view isn't going to. And I think there is a chance this could be one of them. I know we still have Bash in Berlin coming up. I don't think Bad Blood is overseas. I'm pretty sure we will have Crown Jewel in between Bad Blood and Survivor Series. And Survivor Series is in, I think they said Ontario. They just announced, or no, Vancouver. I think it is. They just announced this week. That's where Survivor Series will be. Which I'm not sure if I'll get to do review, by the way, or do stuff around that time for, because that is around the time where my first child is due. But again, Sami Zayn, I get why they're keeping the belt on Sami Zayn. Especially with WWE's international audience growing, they definitely want someone like Sami Zayn, who is very over with the international audiences, being champion. I still don't feel like that. Why would they have Braun Breaker, though, lose to Sami Zayn twice? I don't know for sure about this one. Again, I do think there is a chance Sami could somehow retain. Either way, though, I feel like this match is not going to end clean. I think the match will end. If Sami wins, it's because Braun Breaker went too far. I'm kind of feeling like we're going to get a finish to how it was. What was the takeover in between our Evolution and Unstoppable? When Kevin Owens first beat Sami Zayn for the NXT Championship. I feel like we're going to have an ending similar to that in this match. Which I feel will either be Braun Breaker taking it too far and getting disqualified, or the fact that he doesn't get disqualified. I think the only way he will win is if he doesn't get disqualified, but basically forces a referee stoppage. Which I'm going to lean more towards, I still think Braun's going to win the title. But again, either way, it's not going to be like a super clean finish. They could have Braun Breaker just dangerously defeat Sami Zayn to a point where, again, they don't feel safe continuing the match, but he doesn't get disqualified. I think that's how they're going to finish and have this match finish. It's going to be, again, very similar to when Kevin Owens first beat Sami for the NXT Championship. So I will stick with my prediction and have Braun Breaker win the Intercontinental Championship from a referee stoppage. Again, I can see it going both ways. And I know some people are saying that they don't want to see Braun win the title quite yet because they don't want to rush him and his push and whatnot, and fans are going to get sick of him. To me, he's a heel. I feel like you can't quite do that push with top baby faces because they eventually become like someone that's like the guy to beat. And someone like Braun Breaker, who is being built as a guy to beat, a dangerous heel who doesn't have to cheat and get help for every single freaking match he has. Excuse me. He doesn't. So, I like how they're booking him. And I feel like if he's someone that's being built as someone that, is tough to beat, they give him the title. Because he already can make somebody who's a babyface give him this comeuppance. And eventually kind of like be the person who like exposes a weakness in Braun Breaker. If you get what I mean. So, I think Braun will win the title here. I'll say I'm 80% positive. If I can give myself like a percentage how confident I feel about that, I'm 80% towards Braun winning the title. So I'm going to pick that one right there for that match. So far I have 3 title changes happening on this show. And unfortunately, I don't think it's going to quite end there. Because we're going from up here down here for the first of the men's world title matches. Damian Priest versus Gunther, the King of the Ring for 2024 for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. This one, I don't think again, I have said this for a couple weeks now. I appreciate the effort they've put into the build for this match. This is a super fresh match. Have these two ever wrestled? I don't think they touched while they were both in NXT. I don't think. Because I think Gunther didn't really move over to NXT full-time until 2.0, I think. If I remember, I know he made sporadic appearances, but I don't think he was full-time in NXT right away. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. It could have been... Maybe he was. I can't remember. It's been so long. But this is a very fresh matchup. Do I still feel like it's like wrestling-wise in ring? Is it a SummerSlam quality match? I don't know about that. Storyline-wise, though, has it been interesting? Yes. It's mainly... I always like to refer back to an example that Damian Sandow, now Aaron Stevens, but formerly known as Damian Sandow, in one of his interviews, I think he was on Talk Is Jericho one time, he talked about the SmackDown 2013 Money in the Bank ladder match. The one that he won. There were 7 men in that match. All 7 of them were heels. The goal, of course, was to get somebody a babyface turn. Give someone a babyface win. The goal of the match, even though he was winning it, was to make Cody Rhodes... Make people want to see Cody Rhodes win the match and make him the babyface. And of course, they did succeed. I feel like that's what they're doing here in this feud. They have been, since WrestleMania, slowly transitioning Damian Priest to more of a babyface character. With the storyline, he wants to prove that he is not a transitional champion. He did survive his match with Jey Uso at Backlash. I don't think he had a match at I forgot what it's called. King of the Ring. Yeah, he didn't wrestle there, I don't think. He of course had retained because CM Punk screwed over Drew McIntyre at Clash of the Castle. And he also retained at Money in the Bank against Seth Rollins, when Drew McIntyre cashed in, and once again, CM Punk screwed him. So, he still kind of has to get that big win. Yes, they kind of gave him somewhat of a big win a few weeks ago on Raw, when he beat Braun Strowman pretty clean. So, but he still needs that big clean victory on pay-per-view. And they've established it by having Gunther be labeled as like the super privileged one, which is true. He came in, they immediately put the NXT UK title on him. Move up to the main roster, put the IC title on him. Yes, if Vince stuck around, it wouldn't have stayed around because Vince was going to bury Gunther and put him back on NXT. But thank God Triple H stepped in just in time because Gunther wanted to have a 666-day title reign as Intercontinental Champion. He dropped the title to Sami Zayn at WrestleMania this past year. But as soon as that happened, they put him right in the main event scene, right where he does in fact belong. So, the obvious pick here is Gunther. I am still going to stick with Gunther winning this match, as I think he will. I think they want to have him go into Bash in Berlin as champion. But, let me first mention this, before I mention what I think will happen. I won't be surprised if Damian still does come out of this as champion. Because I do feel like, again, they are trying to tell a story and make you guys truthfully believe that Damian Priest is not a transitional champion. I think, though, in this match, no matter what happens, they have to have that moment where you see Priest and you actually believably think he had him beat before what I think is going to happen will happen. This is the first of a few matches that can be impacted by someone else in the match. Because SummerSlam, to me, seems to be a cursed environment for a certain someone when it comes to the world title. In 2016, Finn Balor won the first Universal Championship, but he got injured during the match. Last year, he wrestled Seth Rollins, and he lost at SummerSlam, after he kind of got screwed over by Damian Priest. Yes, they veered away from it for a while, and yes, they kind of made up and whatnot, but I don't know, that still bothers the crap out of Balor inside him. That's right. It's not only one member of Judgment Day who's going to get their feelings hurt in this show, which is the second one shortly. The first one will in fact be Damian Priest. I think Finn Balor is going to cost Damian Priest the world title. He'll either cost him the world title, or he'll interfere in the match and cause a DQ. Because I do think there could be a chance they may want to hold off till Bash in Berlin to give Gunther his title victory. But again, if of course they have Gunther go in as world champion, that could draw in an audience even bigger. Especially with it being in Gunther's home country, I believe. So, I still think Gunther's going to win. But again, they may hold off. Either way, I think Finn Balor is going to interfere in the match and put the cracks in Judgment Day. Because I think both Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley are both going to be exiled from Judgment Day, from SummerSlam. And Finn Balor just got sick of Priest. Again, he should have won the world title last year. He also was the one who stole the group from Edge. He feuded with Edge, even though, again, he lost the feud technically. So, again, when the feud ended, should Judgment Day have ended too? I don't know. Again, it didn't quite make sense to me. But Judgment Day was supposed to be Finn's group. And then Rhea took over. And then Damian filled in for her whenever she was out for their injury. So I think both Finn Balor is going to get rid of both of them. So that way he can have Judgment Day all to himself. And heck, even if Gunther wrestles someone else at Bash in Berlin with the title, we could at least get Damian Priest versus Finn Balor, which was a TakeOver in Your House in 2020. They had a match on NXT, and it was outstanding. It was the match, I believe, that, of course, kind of really put Damian on the map. Took that Razor's Edge or whatever the heck it was through the steel steps of that match. Yeah, those two definitely could have a great match, a great feud. Either way, Finn Balor's getting involved some way. And whether the match ends in DQ or he costs Damian the title, something's happening. And Damian Priest is going to head off with a babyface run, whether he has the title or not. And Gunther will be champion or win the title at Bash in Berlin. By Bash in Berlin, he will have the title. And he could have it, of course, here too. But I'm going to still stick with Gunther winning and Finn Balor costing him the match. Costing Damian the match. We're on a roll here. Let's take a quick breather. Check out the live chat. See who else we got here. I think we do have Tyler still here. He said, Logan is the worst United States champion ever. I wouldn't say he is the worst, but again, the fact we have a part-time champion. Bleh. Also, Jade should not be near the main title scene. She's too green, and also she fell. The thing's getting cut off there. Someone fell her ass at Clash of the Castle. Oh, fell on her ass at Clash of the Castle in June. I do appreciate they at least have kind of slowed down with Jade a little bit. Like, again, at the beginning, it did kind of look like they were handing her everything. They have eased back a bit, though. So, I don't know that they'll really give her, the world title as soon as we thought they may. But you never know still. Because, again, I don't know what's happening with the tag titles on SmackDown. Which, again, no spoilers. I still got to watch after this. But we'll see, of course. But thank you, of course, again, Tyler, for your thoughts in the live chat. Let's move on now to the last 3 matches of the card. So, again, follow me from 1 Judgment Day member getting hurt to 2. We have the Women's World Championship match. The match we've been waiting for a while. Liv Morgan taking on Mommy Rhea Ripley. Rhea's first match, I believe, since WrestleMania? Or did she wrestle on Raw after that for one of those weeks before she had to drop the women's world title? 1 or 2. But this match, of course, is going to be heavily driven by storytelling. This long-term feud of Rhea Ripley being the one to put Liv Morgan on the shelf. Then Liv Morgan comes back. And storyline-wise, it just happened to happen in real life. Rhea Ripley got written off TV because of an attack from Liv Morgan. And Liv Morgan, who, remember 2 years ago, they threw the SmackDown Women's Championship on her after she cashed in on a one-legged Ronda Rousey. And at the time, when Triple H took over right before SummerSlam in 2022, I kept saying that I felt like with the Liv Morgan situation at the time, they were kind of backed into a corner. You kind of had to get the belt off her at that time. And with the Extreme Rules match, they were teasing this more psychotic character to her. And I thought it was awesome. Until they pulled the plug on it for a while. Then, of course, since she's come back this year, she just went crazy. And now she wants to, of course, get the full revenge tour by taking everything away from Rhea Ripley. She injured her. She took her title. She tried to steal her man, but Dominic says, nah, I hate you. Do you now, Dom? We all know you were going to go for it until Mommy came out when Liv finally helped you beat your deadbeat dad, as he calls it. But this match, I feel, can only end one way. It's solely based on character. And I think this will be the match where Liv obviously gets the crap beat out of her by Rhea Ripley. But it will not be enough. As I don't know how, Some way, though, somehow, Liv Morgan will retain. Because Dominic Mysterio will also eliminate the other person who's had the higher up on Finn Balor and whatnot. Rhea Ripley will also be exiled from the Judgment Day. And Liv Morgan will take her place as Dominic's new Latino heat. And I'm sure there will be some hot and heavy action going on after, of course, it happens. Probably another like Christian, Trish, and Jericho moment from one of the WrestleManias, whatever one it was. Mommy's heart will unfortunately be broken. But really some great storytelling. As, of course, Rhea's going to dig deeper into her badass babyface character, get more over and ever. Someday also, she will get her hands on Dom. Beat that ass! But yeah, Liv Morgan is coming out of SummerSlam still the champ. As I feel she should be. Which obviously you know who the last champion is to be retaining. But we'll talk about that in a second. Let's now roll down underneath Liv and Rhea's graphic. The bottom right-hand corner. The match I still think should be main eventing the show, but it's not. But it's the match I'm probably the most excited for. Drew McIntyre will finally get his hands on CM Punk. With a special guest referee, a man who does not like either one of these guys. Seth freaking Rollins. First again, I am kind of glad we kept the match Drew versus Punk. I'm cool with the idea of putting Seth in there as the special guest referee. I just felt that either way, the first match needed to be Drew and Punk one-on-one. And the build for this, again, has been outstanding. Obviously, some real tension when CM Punk first returned back in November. And Drew McIntyre, which in real life, you gotta think, could Drew McIntyre for real be pissed that Punk came back? Because, you know, he would he would be looking at main eventer. And again, even though, of course, you know, Punk has cost him many times, Drew has still done some of the best heel character work I have seen in all my years as a wrestling fan. And again, adding in Seth in there makes things interesting. Although it's obvious that Seth probably has more of a hatred toward Punk than McIntyre, it's again, I think the big point of this match is going to start setting up for Punk and Rollins at WrestleMania. And I do not think that match needs a true babyface or a true heel. So they just got to be themselves. We all know in real life that Punk and Rollins don't like each other. But of course, they can do business together reasonably. So, my thing is I feel like this match will not be the first time these two fight. I also feel that the whole point of this match, though, with Seth being special guest referee, is in fact to continue to build up tension between Punk and Rollins and set up for their match at WrestleMania next year. We were supposed to get that this year, but we didn't because Punk got hurt. And once again, also, McIntyre injuring Punk's tricep is what also helped elevate this feud last year as well. But he's back now. If I could predict, as much as we all love Punk, some of us, though, of course, do not. I get both sides. But if I had to be honest, I think Drew should win the first match. And I think he will win because there will get some tension. Seth Rollins will in some way, somehow get involved in this match. And I feel like they're not going to do it in a way where you think, oh, Seth Rollins is a heel. They're going to turn maybe tweener mode on him or something like that. And he's going to somehow inadvertently cost Punk the match. Or maybe he'll make a mistake and not know something and give McIntyre the pinfall over Punk. Either way, it's going to build more tension between Seth and Punk, as they still should be fighting at WrestleMania next year. But that's going to be my match of the night. That is one of the 2 matches also I will be doing live reactions for on Saturday with DRK Midnight. The other one, of course, is the main event. Sikoa and Cody Rhodes for the Undisputed WWE Championship. Like I said, this is probably the match I am the least excited for. Again, as I said before, I don't think it's Cody's fault that people look on his reign kind of bland. I understand why, but I also look at him and I think that he actually is trying still, besides being the ultimate good guy, also tell stories, show that serious side, not be the happy-go-lucky, everything's great, everything's fine, there be kind of too hyped up like John Cena could get at times on the rings. I get that. Again, my problem with this match is Solo. Solo has massively improved character-wise. He has not, though, gotten any favors in the ring, though, in my opinion, since, again, he beat John Cena. And that's what's kind of hurts this situation, the fact that they have made Solo look not as strong as he was originally, in my opinion. So, him winning the world title right here won't feel that special. Now, if it was Jacob Fatu wrestling for that world title, I think he would be over more like hotcakes, if I'm being honest. Again, I just don't like how his character work, again, is great. But he's downgraded as far as match quality because it feels like Solo has to have tons of help for him to win his matches. But either way, though, how is this match going to finish? This level going to finish? Wow, not level, not playing video games. How is this match going to finish? Either way, Cody's coming out of SummerSlam with the title. And I know it's now Bloodline rules, so it could get a little more physicality. But I honestly think that Solo is going to lose due to a distraction from the returning Roman Reigns. Roman will return, Cody will retain, and then we'll probably end the show with Roman spearing everyone, including, maybe Cody first, and then everyone in the Bloodline. And of course, setting up for basically, as I want to call it, Bloodline Civil War Part 2 this fall. Where I'm pretty sure we will be getting war games between old Bloodline members and new Bloodline members. But because, of course, I regret completely not doing live reactions during the men's War Games match last year. I was convinced, though, by that time that Punk was not going to show up. But he did, and I wish I would have gotten my reaction. So, I don't want to miss out on that, so that's why I'm also going to do live reactions for the main event, which will not be that great. But I do want to make sure I capture my reactions and DRK Midnight's reactions in the moment. And we will hopefully return from there, or go from there. I'm definitely glad I started this early, because I am starting to feel it now, guys. I am tired. But we got through my SummerSlam preview and predictions. Again, to recap it, LA Knight needs to beat Logan Paul for the US title. Nia Jax will beat Bayley for the women's title. I think Braun Breaker will win the Intercontinental title due to a referee stoppage, though. I think Gunther will beat Damian Priest due to Finn Balor costing Priest the match. Drew McIntyre will beat CM Punk, as Rollins will inadvertently cost Punk, leading to more build to their match at WrestleMania. And, of course, Liv will beat Rhea, as Dominic will turn on Rhea. And Cody will beat Solo. Roman Reigns will return in the main event. Nothing else for the live chat. I'm going to get out of here, guys. Thank you guys for joining for this live preview and predictions for SummerSlam 2024. Again, I'll be back up here live tomorrow for the Punk and McIntyre match and for the main event with the hopeful return of Roman Reigns And again, I will be joined by my nephew, DRK Midnight. And should be a very fun show. Could be a moment maker type show. Should be pretty cool. I'm very excited about it. And that does it, guys. Again, thank you again, but I'm running out of gas. What are you guys' thoughts on SummerSlam? What are your predictions for SummerSlam as well? Any swerves like I threw in there? Any big curveballs? What do you guys say? Again, leave all the thoughts down in the comment section below. Be sure also, as always, to slap a like on the video and subscribe for more content on my channel. You can follow me on Twitter at the Club of the Man 93, and also on TikTok and Instagram at the Club of the Man 1993. And until then, guys, check it out. Catch you guys all later. Have a great rest of your night. And do not forget as well, in order to be superior to the man, you've got to be the man. For I am the man himself. And that is not just an opinion, my friends. That is a fact of life. Yeah!